Hey, you want to make a comeback and play for me? I'll let you shoot all you want as long as you make them.
I would love to have played for you.
We're desperate enough to win that we'll do anything it takes to win. So after each game, our guys write on the board 5 Mo, spelled M-O, and 4 Mo. We're down to 1 Mo right now.
It was now down to the final 2, both from the Big 8 Conference, where Oklahoma had already defeated Kansas twice during the regular season.
They're great, and they're deep, and they're cocky. They have every right to be. You know, our kids think they can win, and that's the big thing. That's a big factor, and anything can happen in one game.
I think we have a lot of stubborn players on our team. Stubborn in the sense of we're not going to lose this game. You know, we never went out there and said, let's win, let's win. We always said, hey, we hate to lose. Everybody that comes out of high school says, hey, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to win a national championship. And it only happens to a few people. The last thing we said as we were going out on the court is all we have to do is go out and play hard because there's no pressure on us. Nobody even expected us to make it this far.
The Jayhawks played their underdog role to the hilt. They broke the Oklahoma press early and often to set up the highest scoring first half in Final Four history. With the score tied at 50, Danny Manning took over.
What we did in the championship game is we broke the press and we tried to go to the basket. We were taking the ball to the basket, getting fouled. Some of them were dropping, we were getting three-point plays.
Switch, a three-point basket. I see the Kansas Jayhawks. Here it comes. It's up. Good.
In the rarefied atmosphere of the 50th Final Four, Danny Manning led his team to victory and a feeling only those who win at this level can share.
It's something that you can't explain. To be able to see all these people that you care for and that you love. You're so happy, you know, tears start to come to your eyes. It's something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
If the Final Four is winner take all, then the Iditarod sled dog race is survival of the fittest. Out on the Alaskan frontier, dog teams and drivers compete against each other and more than 1,000 miles of icebound wilderness along the Iditarod Trail. This rugged route begins in Anchorage and heads north, crossing 2 mountain ranges on the way to the gold rush ghost town of Iditarod. Then, along the Yukon River and Bering Sea coast to the finish line in Nome. The Iditarod is open to all comers, both men and women. In 1985, Libby Riddles was leading when a sudden blizzard pinned down her team. She was faced with a difficult decision.
I'm taking a chance going out this morning in this kind of weather. It might be kind of tough on my leaders and stuff, but right now I'm at the point where I got to either take the chance or to heck with it, you know. Got to do it.
Rather than wait for the blizzard to pass, Riddles went for the win by heading directly into the storm towards Nome. 36 hours later, the gamble paid off as Libby Riddles crossed the finish line to become the first woman to win the Iditarod.
The money, I don't know, maybe Hawaii, that's what I keep talking about. A box of dog biscuits for every dog in the team.
Winning America's last great race provided a moment in the sun. But back home, in Banner Creek, Alaska, is where Libby Riddles finds her real reward.
All right, let's go. Wake him up. Wake him up. Well, it's the Husky breed, you know, has been designed for hundreds of years to withstand temperatures and to do this kind of work. So it's a natural thing that comes in a good breeze. How's the dogs, huh? Plus, I think, too, the fact that they're what I'd call like hybrids, you know, what some people call mutts. You get a lot of natural vigor that way. It's kind of a wild pack of wolves here.
Some people say, oh, this is cruel, running sled dogs, making them work. You know, well, really, the cruelest thing you can do to a sled dog is make them stay in the dog yard while the rest of the dogs get to go on a run, because it's what they love to do. It's what they're bred to do.
You gotta wait till next time.
Even as many times as I've hooked up a team of dogs, I mean, I also get this big adrenaline rush, because there's a lot of power there, you know, and it's always real exciting. You know, dogs are so excited. You can't help but kind of get excited, too, you know. Okay, hop, 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 hop. If you've got a place to take off of where it's a dangerous trail or a lot of sharp corners, you're going to just about guaranteedly be pretty nervous when you get on the back of the sled. Usually the first couple miles of a training run, I'm just more concerned on just staying upright on the sled. And once you get going, and if you survive the first 2 or 3 miles in one piece, things are usually fine. The main thing they have to learn is how to pace themselves. You know, they want to just scream the first few miles out of the dog yard, and then by the time you get 15, 20 miles down the trail, their tongues are hanging out because they used it all up the first 5, 10 miles. I always knew, even from the time I was real small, that whatever I was going to do in life was going to have something to do with animals. You know, I didn't know what. I didn't know anything about dog sled racing. In fact, I went to night school to finish my high school so I could get out early and go to Alaska. It's a tough country. It's not for everybody, but, you know, in a way it can be real satisfying, too. It's real beautiful in its own way, even the winter. People think, you know, they look out in the winter, it's just black and white. Well, it's not, you know. You get this beautiful blue sky and a sunrise and a sunset that lasts forever in these short days. And it's a subtle beauty, but I really like it. I mean, it's really one of the few places left in the world where there is some honest-to-God wild country out here that has probably never had human foot tracks across it even, you know. In this day and age especially, it's just getting to be such a rare thing. It's part of the reason I came up here is because I wanted to see that and experience it while it was still possible to do that. I think it's real rare to even find somebody, you know, in a normal walk of life who's ever spent even 24 hours all by themselves, if you ever think about it. And it's healthy to have done that, you know, and be able to cope with things alone and to have had that experience. But I'm real comfortable in this kind of a setup. And in fact, since I've won the race and, you know, have a little bit more notoriety, you know, I end up out mixing with people a lot more than I used to. So, you know, actually my life has kind of taken a turn the other way in that I am a lot more social now. Of course, now my generator's bit the dust, so. It is one of the few sports where you got women competing against the men and doing good, too, you know. I know everything else went wrong for me last year, but the one thing that was good is that the gods of sled dog crashing were on my side, because I kept on thinking, all right, this is it, we're going to die right here, you know, and then somehow you make it, you know. I think women are good at the sport for a lot of reasons. For one, you have to have a lot of organizational skills and being good with animals. Or even stuff like making your own equipment, you know, and that sort of thing. I have to be an athlete to some extent, too, but I'm also the coach of what I consider the real athletes, and that's the dogs. So you got all these individual animals you're dealing with, and I know them all really good, too. You the wild women? Yeah, you two are the wild. You play up their good points, and you deal with their bad points.
Okay, it's blast, huh, Mimi?
You somehow make a dog out of it.
Oh, musky.
It's a lot tighter relationship than you're going to have, like, with a pet dog, because, you know, you're out there, you work side by side with these dogs.
Yeah, this is one of the more unglamorous parts of the sport, I guess, but it's actually, it's kind of fun in a way because, you know, I guess I always think, well, you know, no matter how big of a big shot you think you're getting, because I think like this is going to keep you humble, you know, you're still the one that's going to clean the dog yard.
Say those dogs that I won the Iditarod with, me and these dogs, we're like men who've gone to war together. You know, we've been through something hard, we survived, we did it together, you know, and we're like this, you know. And just winning that race, that's something I'll have my whole life, and nobody can ever take it away from me. There's nothing like it.
I get up in the morning, pack my sled by dawn. When the sun is overhead, you know that I will be long gone. I've waited all the winter, I've worked hard every day, net down the trails